Oh. Oh, okay, okay. Oh, hell yeah. Going off on that hi-hat. It's Saturday. Yeah, it is. So I think we're gonna keep working on Oregon-ish. Did some work in the background. I think just working with some of the latency issues and getting the signal from my keyboard to go into my computer at the, at the speed it's supposed to. When you hit a key, the delay is way too long and it makes it really hard to record. So until I get that figured out, I think I'll be doing a lot of the recording off of camera. And then if we're, drawing things in or just need to do a little bit, I can record instruments. So if I want to play guitar or, I think that's the only instrument I have right now. But if I want to play guitar, it will be a lot better. Anything that's MIDI, that needs a MIDI signal in is going to be a problem. So work on that. But yeah, let's get over to Reason. So I remember we had the kick with the little bit of a really tight electronic snare. Wait, there it is. Putting in a hi-hat, sampled hi-hat. Like where that open comes in. So we also had the tabla. So this is a bass line I added after the fact. I think that feels really good. A little bit of a slap in there to accent the notes. One thing I like doing on the bass lines is put a little bit of a bend in there that you can do with the modulation wheel on your keyboard, and that makes it sound a little bit more realistic. Also, changing the velocity on individual notes. If you keep the velocity on all your notes at 100%, like no one plays bass, or no one who's good at playing bass plays every note the same volume, right? So you need to have a little bit of dynamics or a little bit of dynamism in the playing of your electronic bass line. Probably gonna use an actual guitar for this. I don't know if I like the way any of the electronic guitars I have sounds, but if you look at this one, this is called the Wino Teleking in Reason. And if you put a decent amount of reverb on it and you take the mix of it, I think if you adjust the frequency for it, let me see if I can show you this. So this is going into the Spectrum EQ. You go to the Wino Teleking. It's got generally a warm feel to it, but because this instrument is mixed to the left here, there's a lot of mid-range in that channel, right on the left side. So I want to put a little bit of a higher frequency in there just to separate it from the rest of the instruments. So this is with the EQ off. Wait for it to come back around. This with the EQ on. Off. On. Just like a little bit of a lift in the higher frequency ranges, even though there's not that much. You can see that around maybe 10 to 15 kilohertz, there's not much response on the EQ. So it would have to be in this space right here to get those higher frequencies and really lift them up. So what I like to do is I like to come up with a bunch of different ideas, and in doing that, you just layer it all on top of each other. Don't worry about how they sit, how they fit, because you can stretch it out, you can edit things later, you can add or remove things. Don't fall in love with anything you're writing, because the next day you might throw it out the door. If you looked in the first part of that video, by the end of the video, I came up with something, and I actually liked what I made in the first section more than what I ended up. But if you just keep working at it and you continue to just put ideas in, you can get to a place where, you know, you're eventually happy with it. And if you remember the vocals from the first side, yeah. All right, so with everything together, I think it's starting to get a little bit too busy. So what I want to do is I want to spread this out and come up with like a perspective structure for it, right? I want to come up with something that, you know, feels good as far as maybe a verse, chorus, and then go from there. Yeah, so let's start working on it. So you can Control A to select everything, and then the best thing to do is just Control D and take it out another 8 bars to be a total of 16 bars. So I think that when we were listening to just the drums and that bass line, it sounded really good. So I think I'm gonna start there on the chorus and then go from there. I'm gonna take out the organ. I'm gonna take out the piano. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna keep the piano, because when that piano came in, it sounded kind of dramatic. It sounded like something was going to happen. So maybe that's a good way to get into the chorus. Might be a good transition. So let's take this to just, so that's about 16 bars for a verse. So right now, let's just listen to what we have. Take out the drone. want the whole thing to sound like climax. So I feel like this is something that might go near the end, you know, when the song is wrapping up. While I like the 8-bit lead, I wish it had more variation to the tone of it. So I think I'm gonna add some modulation onto it. I'm gonna add some effects. I'm gonna add this sweeper modulation. Turn down the wet a little bit. Sounds good. Yeah. So this is starting to have maybe like a dub feel to it. I'm going to lean into that. I'm going to lean into that. I'm going to look for some timbales. I want like a stereotypical dub, like pop, 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 pop. I'm gonna take this out probably 4 bars so I can just have a minute, just like a hot second in here with just drums. Getting there. Get a little bit of feedback off. Might change that up a little bit. And chorus. Chorus feels like a step down, so I need to flesh this out. I think I want a real groove going in the chorus. Cool. I am generally happy with that right now, but I also want to flex a little bit on the second one. I want it to get a little funky. Boom, 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 like a boom. Boom. walk it on them. Walk it on them, baby. I want you to walk it on them. I want to be like a little Superman, like boom, ba-da-dum. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Computer's overheating, baby. Too hot. Shit's hot fire. Computer's overheating. I think we're in a really good place, y'all. I think that we're in a really good place with this one, baby. Yes. Okay. Looking at the time, I think that's all the time we got for this one. And I'll come back with a final version, let you know what happens with it. Kill this. I got lost. I forgot to do my outro. Okay, y'all. Yeah, so that's it. It's not gonna be called Oregon shit, I promise, but we'll see what happens in the future, and I'll see you next time. All right, later, y'all.